Verne comes back to San Francisco. The continent of Europe is shaken by the war. There are many things which might interest him, but he starts to work in a dynamite factory. Later on, he plays with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Carl Kalisch. He creates programs for the standard school radio broadcast, and then when the United States joins the war, he works as a classified essential worker for the Navy. There are Black Widow Spider parts to be implanted in the crossbar sights of 7,500 tanks. Verne is now married and takes up yet another activity. He becomes an actor, stage designer, and director for the Hillburn Theater in Stanford. He is also with the first Volkswagen and Porsche agency that opens on the West Coast after the war. In Germany, he became a master automotive mechanic. Shortly afterwards, Verne himself takes the wheel. He participates in various races in California.
I did Santa Barbara, Bakersfield, and in the old days, before they had Laguna Seca, we used to race over at the golf course at Pebble Beach.
Those weren't German cars he used to drive in the races back in the 50s.
Oh, I drove a Ferrari Monza and America, and I drove Testarossa on occasion, and Lotus Le Mans. Whatever, whoever wanted to give me a ride, that's what I drove. Yeah.
Verne's 11 years in Europe and Germany was a school of life for him. Most of his subsequent activities have their roots there. For example, on the bicycle racing track in Munich, he was spotted by the famous racing driver Rudi Caracciolo.
Well, he got me an apprenticeship at a place out on Schwanthalerstrasse, and I would follow him all over. We were all over, and I was with a guy. In those early days, there were two-man automobiles, the driver and a mechanic, and sometimes I would ride with him. And he always had me doing little final work with the car, because we didn't use distributors and coils in those days. We used a magneto.
Verne has lived alone for more than 15 years now, after being married 3 times. Nowadays, he jokes about it. I've made that mistake on 3 different occasions, and look where it got me. Old, alone, and broke. Ah well, c'est la vie. You know what a bachelor is, don't you? That's a guy who never made the same mistake once. There are 8 children from his 3 marriages. Verne's 3rd wife, Kanako, came from a strongly traditional Japanese family. Here's one of Verne's few remaining photographs. Kanako and Homoru, Verne's last child. The Japanese family never accepted Verne, and Kanako and their children finally returned to Japan. Verne knows how to manage by himself. He remains independent. Yet there are situations he cannot master.
Well, San Francisco is not in this area is not a very safe place to be anymore. In the last 6 years in San Francisco, I've been mugged 4 times. This is why most of the time, not tonight, but most of the time I carry a stun gun with me and a club.
Not always enough pension money is left to go out to eat. Then Verne stays in his room for 3 to 4 days, and he goes through the magazines his friends have given him.
Well, after the fact, that doesn't mean a thing. The O-rings got squirts, yeah. Yeah. Well, all of them, they should join the Owls Club. You know what the motto of the Owls Club is? Don't take yourself so goddamn seriously. My goodness. The people that can put a man on the moon can also make a match that works.
San Francisco, Columbus Avenue. Here there are places like Ferlinghetti's City Lights bookstore or the Cafe Vesuvio. That's where those poets and writers used to meet who made San Francisco famous in the 50s. And right in the neighborhood, hidden in an alley, is also Speck's Bar.
Paid for all of the paint and all of the material.
John Steinbeck, Dylan Thomas, or the voices of the Beat generation like Allen Ginsberg, Jack Kerouac, or Ken Kesey. Verne knew them all, of course. Verne's regular place is at the corner of the bar next to the wall so that he can't be approached from his deaf side. Old age and treachery will win over youth and skills, it says on the wall here. The writer Jack London might have patronized this place. He could be the patron of all who follow his lifestyle and action and spirit, like Verne certainly has. Live fast, love hard, and die young. This is supposed to be the motto of the Beat generation. Verne is an exception to this motto in one respect. He stays alive. The all kinds of lives he has lived so far provide him with countless stories, episodes, and anecdotes. For example, the vaudeville time.